Hi, the review fella here. So the incredible LG C2 has arrived with its faster processor and small boost in peak brightness, but the C1 is no slouch either, so which one should you buy? Let's get right into it. I bought the 48-inch C2 the very first week it came out and I'm super impressed. But I know from questions some people have been asking me there is a dilemma, because the C1 was such a good TV, in fact I use it on a daily basis. The LG C1 is amazing, and the LG C2 is, well, also amazing. It's perhaps not fair to do a side-by-side comparison, as my 65-inch C1 will handle brightness differently to my smaller 48-inch C2. So let's take a deeper dive and see what's under the hood. What do we get for our money? And at the end of this video, we'll hopefully have a better idea which one we should buy. Let's first look at the design. Both my C1 and C2 look identical. The C1 design of the stand has been carried over to the 48-inch C2. The 42-inch version of the C2 has a pair of feet, ideal to use as a monitor perhaps, giving you room for all those cables, maybe even to push your keyboard underneath. From 55 inches and beyond, a smaller foot is fitted to the C2. There is quite a weight difference too. The 55-inch C1, for example, is 23 kilograms with the stand, whereas the 55-inch C2 is just 15 kilograms with the stand. That's some impressive dieting. But apart from that, it appears that both TVs are very similar in design. They share the same razor-thin top and fatter bottom. The C2 has a thinner bezel. Unless the foot size and design and the overall TV weight are important to you, let's call this one a draw. Now let's look at the screen sizes. The C1 is available in 48, 55, 65, 77 and 83 inches. The C2 is available in exactly the same, except has the smaller 42-inch version. So the C2 has a wider screen size choice, but only if the 42-inch appeals to you. I'm going to call this one a draw again, because if the 42-inch doesn't appeal to you, then it's all even Stevens. Now let's look at the panel design and brightness, an important factor when choosing a new TV. With the C2 you'll get the brighter Evo panel, only found in the G1 last year. Or was it? The Evo panel did start to ship with some of the C1 TVs also, and my C1 has the Evo panel, but not the brightness of the G1, as it doesn't have the same heat dissipation capabilities, and therefore brightness is limited by software. OLED TVs historically have some drawbacks, one of them being that their peak brightness cannot match those of TVs with different panel technology, like the Samsung QLEDs for example. This can mean that in a room filled with natural sunlight, or when watching Dolby Vision content, which is fairly dark by nature, the result can be, well, less than impressive. So any boost here is welcome, and the C2 I think has a noticeable but a small bump in peak brightness. It's marketed at between 10 and 30% brighter, depending what you read. I doubt it's that much though, and even if it were, your eyes would not perceive in real terms that much of an increase in brightness. So I'm going to give this one to the C2, as a brighter OLED panel is always welcome. Under the hood we have a leap from the C1's Gen 4 processor to the C2's Gen 5 processor. The new processor should deliver better AI upscaling, improved object background enhancement and virtual upmixing, increasing the number of virtual channels from 5.1.2 to 7.1.2. WebOS 6 is thrown out of the window in exchange for WebOS 22, and the latter isn't massively different, but seems faster and has improved personalization. It also has NFC Magic Tap to mirror devices to the LG TV. There is also a new Always Ready mode and voice control. The C1 has an amazing picture, it really does, and the C2 is at least as good, if not slightly better, but it's hard to split them even when viewing side by side. However, we'll give this one to the C2, as the under-the-hood changes are worthy improvements in my opinion. Now on to sound. As mentioned earlier, the C2's AI Sound Pro virtual upmixing can create 7.1.2 virtual channels of sound, which is an improvement over the C1. Both TVs, in my opinion, have wide, punchy and expansive sound. I can't perceive much difference though. Both the C1 and C2 have some of the best sound quality on any TV I've ever had, and of course, sound on both TVs will always benefit from a good soundbar. Gaming is a breathtaking experience on both TVs, and the casual or hardened gamer will be delighted with either. Both TVs have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. The C2 benefits from 48 gigabits per second bandwidth compared to the C1's 40 gigabits per second. Would this make much difference for most people? I'm not sure it would. Also, the game optimizer has been enhanced for the C2, bringing a new sports setting, also a dark room mode, plus a wider selection of supported aspect ratios, and you can now take advantage of the new side-by-side or picture-in-picture modes. So last but not least, let's talk about price. The C2 is LG's latest model and therefore commands a premium. The 65-inch C2, for example, will set you back around £2,300 or $2,500 at the time of making this video. However, the 65-inch C1 is a steal at £1,600 or $1,750. That's over £700 or $700 cheaper. Quite astonishing. But is the C2 worth that much more money than the C1? Honestly, no, I don't think it is. Don't get me wrong, the C2 is super impressive. In my opinion, if you have the money to buy the LG C2 and that's what you have your heart set on, then go for it. You won't regret it as long as you can drop that kind of money. However, if you want to save a bundle, then get the C1. I doubt you would notice much difference, and it's a fantastic TV. I'm still watching mine for day-to-day TV viewing, and I see no reason to change it anytime soon. Check out the links in the description to these two TVs and my other gear should that interest you. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking this video if you found it useful. It's a great help to my small channel and I'm super appreciative if you do that for me. Also, please subscribe for more LG TV and tech news and reviews. Please stay safe and I hope to see you very soon.